Thanksgiving, everybody. It's a much better looking group right here today with y'all's better three quarters here. But no, we're excited about the week, and again, got a lot to be thankful for. Really thankful for this team. The amount of work that they've put in since last January. Same with our staff. It's been a good team to coach. They've been a lot of fun, good leadership, and a group of just great young people that have battled their tails off all year, and to be sitting here 10-1 and having the type of season that we had, I'm just really proud of them. The season is over, and now it's South Carolina. So there's the season, and it's South Carolina, which is obviously a goal of its own. And excited. Doesn't matter what's happened, what's coming. It's all about this week and. Getting ready for a good football team. Man, looking at South Carolina, first of all, Shane's done a great job. What a huge win this past week, and they played their best game, and we played our best game. Two good teams, that are coming off of big wins where they played well, and both teams, I think, got some confidence. But, you look at their football team, and defensively, they got a lot of talented guys over there. A lot of guys that we recruited throughout that defense, and especially up front, that we've got a lot of respect for. They're big, strong, and athletic guys up front. Mostly a four-down team. Do a lot of things in coverage-wise to challenge you. We know Brad Johnson. I mean, he's a 6-year player. Some of these guys have been playing a long time. Green is an excellent player. 9, I think, is one of their better players as well. Two good corners. They've kind of settled on the 2 freshmen at safety. So it's a good group. They get after you, and we got to do a nice job. And then over on the offensive side, I don't know that I've ever seen a team be hotter than what they were last week. You got a lot of confidence comes from that. Made a ton of plays. I thought the quarterback was outstanding. I mean, he played an unbelievable game. You saw what he can do throwing the ball. I mean, he had some plays where it was that far. And he was incredibly accurate. His great timing, great anticipation. I thought his receivers and tight ends really showed what they're capable of last week as well. And you've seen it at times throughout the year, but it looked like they just really put it together last week and against a really good football team. So this is a good group, very experienced up front. We know a lot about these guys. I mean, we've played against them, but they got 4 out of 5 starters back. They got a bunch of guys outside, 13 and 6, 10, 5, 3, 17. All these guys have played a lot of ball. Of course, their tight end is a Swiss Army knife type guy. He's everywhere, and second leading rusher on the team. Really good backs. I'm not sure. I know they've had some guys injured. Not sure who's back, who's playing, but really, really talented group. And then special teams, they've been outstanding. They've blocked a bunch of kicks. They've returned punts. They've had a kick return. It's been the difference for them in a couple of games for sure. So this is all 3 phases on high alert type of game. Everybody's got to play well, and we're excited about the week and getting back in the Valley. This is the last one for our seniors. And, it's always a big deal when you're playing your last home game. And, man, I hope our crowd will show up and really get behind them and support this team. I know a lot of people don't like a noon game, and all that stuff. But, man, we need the best noon crowd that we've ever had. Come Friday. If you can come Friday, come then. Pitch a tent, whatever. Let's have a great crowd. Let's be ready. Dean, you going to have them ready? All right, let's have them ready. All right, we need a great crowd, and it should be a fun environment. And our focus is just simple. It's on finishing strong, and trying to play our best 4 quarters, trying to achieve this goal. That's our focus. That's what we feel like we can control, and that goes back to how we practice today, how we practice tomorrow. There's a lot to manage this week with Thanksgiving and families in town and all that type of stuff. So staying focused and again, really preparing the best we can and trying to play our best game. This is, again, a fun week for everyone all across the country. It's rivalry week. I was a part of 13 Alabama-Auburn games, and, man, that was It was always my favorite week of the year. And now I'm on my 19th Clemson, South Carolina game, and it's my favorite week of the year. This is a fun week because it really is, you just can feel, the intensity of it, if you will, because everybody's paying attention and everybody's involved, and it's just it's a lot. And you look all across the country, whether it's Michigan, Ohio State, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Florida State, whoever it may be. It's a lot of fun to be a part of these type games. Not everybody has an opportunity to be a part of a real traditional rivalry type game. And so, man, I'm thankful for that and look forward to a great day in the Valley on Saturday.
A lot of people try and downplay the rivalry situation in different places. Why do you embrace it so openly, and what success have you found because of that?
Because I grew up in Alabama. Where'd you grow up?
Suburb of Chicago.
There you go. Northwestern and Indiana probably isn't, they're probably not having, marriages break up over that. No offense to Northwestern and Indiana. I don't even know if they play each other, but, you grow up in Alabama, it's just, that's it. I've said many times, you don't even leave the hospital. You gotta declare, like, right there, which way you going. There's no, and they put it right on your birth certificate. Otherwise, you just stay in the hospital. They don't let you leave. So, that's the best way I can answer. That's what I grew up with. That's all I know, and, just was my whole life, 33 years until I came to Clemson. Came here, I was 33, and that's all I knew. And and then growing up, and then 13 times being a part of it as a player and a coach, just in your blood, and you live with it, and you die. I've been on both sides of it, so I get it. I know how it is. I've won them and lost them. Won some on the last play, lost some on the last play. Won some big, lost some big. I've experienced every part of it, but when you grow up in a place like Alabama and then you come to South Carolina and it's no different. It's exactly the same. And that's what I experienced when I came here. It didn't take me long to figure out, well, this is a different logo, but this isn't any different. When I first hit the road recruiting in spring of '03, and people didn't even know me, but as soon as I walked into school, half the people didn't like me. Oh, it's the Clemson guy, or whatever. Well, that just was normal to me. It was no different in Alabama. You walked in, it's the Alabama guy. It's because the Auburn is half and half. And I came up in a time where the stadium was half and half. We played in Birmingham, all the way for most of those games. And then kind of the latter part of my career is when we started going back and forth, Alabama-Auburn. So coming here was a very natural thing for me. It just felt normal that people don't like you. That felt normal, and felt normal to, go on the road in recruiting in the state and have people instantly judge you because you have a logo on your shirt. That felt normal. So I love that. And then I've experienced everything. Won big, lost big, won close, lost close. I've experienced all of that, in this rivalry as well. And it's special. It really is. It means a lot to a lot of people. So never gets old. And, we had the 1 year we missed with COVID. So this is it's a big deal to a lot of people. So I've just always embraced it because it's just natural to me.
I've been taking a crash course on it and talking to a bunch of people. Talked to Danny Ford about it this week, and he mentioned your '08 game. And that was kind of like the cherry on top, that you were the guy who could really do this. What do you remember about that game? How do you look at that game?
The '08 game? Well, probably not here if it wasn't for the '08 game. So I think that was a noon game, I think. That was a noon game. I just remember it being very gloomy. It felt like 6 o'clock, but it was actually a noon game. And I just remember it had been such a blur, 7 weeks, and now it's kind of coming to an end. And if you win I knew that if we won the game, then I think Terry Don was going to be able to have enough clout to probably give me a chance. And if we lost the game, you know, he was going to have to probably fight a little harder, you know, and I don't know what would have happened. Would have been probably a lot tougher for him to give me the opportunity, but certainly winning that game, I think it was 31-17, or I don't know what was it? 31-14, and you know, winning that game just kind of solidified the opportunity, and so it was a great day for sure. I'll never forget that ever, and you know, just a special moment after the game, a special day the next day, because I came over and met with Terry Don and you know, Billy D and you know, President Barker, and they told me I was going to get the job, and so that was a really cool time for sure. So never ever forget that moment. And I had no, you know, you just prepare and you have no idea what's going to happen. And they were a really good team. Obviously, Coach Spurrier, the job he did there. So, but it was a big win.
Coach, it's been 9 years since you lost to your rival, but I guess you have a sense of what that desperation is like for those players, having lost 5 to them yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, that's why every year, I mean, you just put everything you got into it, and you know, try to. Doesn't matter what the records are. Doesn't matter if there's a streak, and none of that stuff matters. I mean, you got to play well in this game, and you know you're going to get their best. They're going to get our best, and at the end of the day, it comes down to execution and doing what you got to do to win the football game. You know, blocking, tackling, throwing, catching, taking care of the football. You know, being sound in special teams, executing in the red zone. I mean, there's a lot that you got to do. Once the emotion kind of gets out of the way, it's all about football. So you got to stay focused on those things in games like this, and not get distracted, you know, by all the pomp and circumstance that comes along with it. It's at the end of the day, it's a football game, and most fired up team ain't gonna win. It's the team who executes the best. It's the team that does the things that wins football games, that does those things the best. That's who wins. And so, you know, again, I mean, we've got great respect for them. Certainly, I think Shane's done an amazing job. I mean, he really has. I mean, you just see their team with a lot of energy, a lot of belief, and you know, we got to play well. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if however many we've won. It doesn't matter. You got to play well, and you got to earn it this Saturday.
Did you reach out to him after the win, or is this one of those weeks where you just kind of wait and see him on the field Saturday?
Oh, I'll see him. I'll see him Saturday.
His program is built on some similar cultural, holistic things as yours. I'm curious, before he became a head coach, before he even knew that he might end up there, did he ever pick your brain on what he might do when he took?
You know, I don't know the inner workings of their program, and you know, we have talked many times over the years, but you know, not specifically sat down with him and gone through, you know, specific things. Just really organic conversations that have happened naturally.
You mentioned all the different rivalry games that Alabama here you've been involved in. So is 08 the high point? Is there a specific low point? Because you said you've had highs, you've had lows.
Yeah, 2013, 5 in a row, 6 turnovers. Yep, that was pretty low. I thought we had the better team. I think Coach Spurrier thought we had the better team. I was telling radio people last night. He called me the next day to almost apologize. Like, yeah, I don't know why y'all turned that ball over. I don't understand it. You know, I'm like, I don't either, Coach. But yeah, so that was probably the. I mean, they're all bad. It don't matter if you've lost 5 in a row, if you lose 1 in a row. You lose this game, it stinks. Period. It doesn't matter. You can win 20 in a row, and when you lose this game, it stinks. There's nothing good about it. And same thing, when you win it, it's great. And that's been that way forever and ever and ever in a rivalry game, and always will be. But specifically, that was a disappointing day, because again, I really thought we had we had 6 turnovers, and we still had a chance, you know, late in the game. But it was a tough day for us.
Coach, since you brought up turnovers, I guess, is there anything you can do differently than what you do every week in practice? Is it psychological at this point?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Davis Allen has never fumbled ever. I don't know, you know, guy put a good hit on the ball. So, you know, same thing with Brenny pretty good ball security. Guy put a good hit on the ball, so we just got to, I think you just have to keep coaching the fundamentals and really stress things in practice. You do everything you can with your scouts but you don't want. I mean, you got to go play, and hopefully it's one of those things we just kind of play our way out of. But the difference is we've been getting them, so we've been getting takeaways, and I know from a stat standpoint we finished, I guess, -1, but we really finished +1. As far as how we track things. I mean, when you stop somebody 4th and 1 in the scoring zone, that's a turnover. You get a safety, that's points and a turnover, because you get points and the ball. So it doesn't go down in the book that way. So that's why you still win 40-10 because we were +1 in the margin. Same thing the week before. And the one game we lost, we didn't do that. We were negative. So and if we can just kind of keep getting them and just cut that down, good things will happen for us. But it's just, some basic things, really basic things, and just got to keep executing the fundamentals.
You face a great quarterback, and this is a quarterback that struggled, but then last week just had maybe the best game of his entire career.
He was awesome. I mean, he made some throws that were, you can't defend. You can't defend it. If you go back and really watch it, they had guys there, and it's the difference. It's that much is the difference in that touchdown catch to, who was it, 6, and an incomplete. It's an inch, but that's the game. The throw down the sideline. He just made some beautiful plays. He bought time. He extended some plays, and then his guys made plays. They made a ton of plays. He's a 5-star quarterback for a reason, and a starter at Oklahoma for a reason, and has done a lot of great things. He's a really, really talented player. We've seen a bunch of them this year. We've had a lot of them on our schedule throughout the year, and he's definitely got all the tools.
You see some similarities in him and DJ, just in the way everybody loved them this time, a year plus ago, and then they had to, everybody's criticizing them, and then they come back and kind of show why it is everybody loved them in the first place.
I probably. They both have had. Other than DJ's still here, obviously they made a change at Oklahoma, and so he moved on. But, again, I think the quarterbacks get, a lot of blame sometimes. And, like last year, for example, DJ didn't play well, but we weren't very good around him either. And, I think that it's taken them some time to kind of hit their stride this year. And now those kids are making plays for him. But he's a very talented player, and they both have kind of had their ups and downs. But DJ's really played well for us. Outside of 2 games, he's played well. He's 21-5 as a starter or something like that. He's a winner, and he's a great leader, and he's an unbelievably committed guy. So I don't know Spencer. I've never met him, I don't think, but I got a lot of respect for him as a player, and he's got all the tools.
What he did Saturday night, you noticed that they were doing some things differently with him, quicker getting it out.
Yeah, they did a good job schematically and some formations and some things, and they mixed in a lot of wildcat and a lot of crossers. Had complemented things with some easy outlet passes in the screen game. But they took a lot of shots, and guys made some unbelievable plays. But he made some throws. They had a lot of max protection. Tennessee caught Tennessee in a bunch of man coverage, and they have max protection. And, it's just my guy's better than your guy, but the quarterback put the ball on the money. Incredibly accurate. So that's really it. It's really not complicated. They just blocked them and caught the ball better and got the ball to the back in some flats a couple times. And, they hit a 3rd and 20, a 3rd and 17 on some deep crossers. With just accurate throws and good protection.
Coach, how would you characterize DJ as a runner? Because it doesn't look like he's running very fast, but some of these moves he's made in the open field and his vision,
he's got that stanky leg. You give him the stanky leg. He's just confident now. He's gone from a guy that wasn't very confident running the ball to now he's very confident, and he's faster than you think. He's way more athletic than you think, but he's big and strong. And he breaks a lot of tackles, and he's a big man to get down. I mean, he's 238 pounds, and he's got a good understanding of how to set things up. So he sees it. He's got good vision as a runner. He may not be a Barry Sanders as far as change of direction, but he's got good vision. He can see it, and he does a nice job of changing direction. But he's just, bottom line, he's just worked really hard at it, and he's just much more confident. And he's been a big factor for us, for sure.
You talked about the emotions of this game for the seniors. They're now experiencing a lot of lasts, and this will very much be their last game at Death Valley the next time they come back on a game day. They'll be fans. Have you had conversations with them about just kind of embracing and relishing in this moment?
Yeah, we kind of do that last week, honestly. And we I don't remember what year we started doing that, but it was somewhere, I don't know if it was 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that range. But because I just felt like when our last game was here, there was already a lot of emotion. And then you throw that into it and all the families and all the stuff going on. I just think, it was just better to move that. So we kind of deal with that last week. And then this week, they've kind of been through that. They've processed it. They'll come down the hill as a group, but all the senior day stuff, man, we just try to make it all about the game. And I think because, again, there's enough emotion involved. Certainly they know it's their last game in the Valley and they want to play well. And that's really what we try to put the focus on is just, let's play well. Let's try to, finish with no regrets. Let's finish the right way and be plenty of time to reflect